What if I told you that one of the most powerful empires in history was founded by a poor peasant who had nothing but a dream? That's how the Ming Dynasty began, against all odds. Stick around. You're about to learn how this dynasty, filled with ambition, betrayal, and incredible achievements, shaped China for centuries. The Ming Dynasty lasted for nearly 300 years, from 1368 to 1644. And during that time, China saw the rise and fall of emperors, military power struggles, remarkable advancements in culture, and the construction of some of the world's most famous landmarks, like the Great Wall in its current form. But how did it all start? Who were the key players, and what led to its sudden collapse? Let's dive into the history of one of China's most extraordinary dynasties. It all begins in the early 1300s, when China was in chaos. The Mongol-led Yuan dynasty had taken over, but by the mid-1300s, the Mongols were starting to lose control. They couldn't manage the vast empire, and the people were fed up. Famine, high taxes, corruption, and plague created widespread suffering. A man named Zhu Yuanzhang was one of the poorest people alive at the time. He was born into poverty, lost his parents to disease, and became a monk in a desperate attempt to survive. But he wasn't just any monk. He was a man with an iron will to change the world. Zhu Yuanzhang eventually gathered a group of rebels. They fought against the Yuan dynasty, and despite being outnumbered and underfed, they kept pushing forward. But his story isn't just about fighting for power. It's about what happens after a revolution. How do you build an empire when you've never had power, wealth, or privilege? Zhu's rebellion, known as the Red Turban Rebellion, grew rapidly. With brilliant tactics and the support of the desperate population, they took over large parts of China. In 1368, Zhu officially declared himself emperor, founding the Ming Dynasty. This is where things start to get interesting. Zhu Yuanzhang, now known as Emperor Hongwu, didn't just want to rule. He wanted to establish an entirely new system. He quickly set about reforming the government and society, rebuilding China after years of foreign rule. Hongwu's early reign was marked by heavy centralization. He implemented policies that aimed at strengthening the agricultural base of the country, reviving traditional Confucian values, and minimizing corruption. He also focused on controlling the military, creating an efficient bureaucracy that supported the empire's structure. But here's the catch. Hongwu also ruled with an iron fist. He didn't trust many of his officials and often executed those he suspected of disloyalty. His paranoia led to a brutal purge of anyone who could threaten his authority. Even though Hongwu was harsh, his reign was incredibly successful. The Ming Dynasty thrived under his leadership, growing wealthier and more powerful. The economy boomed. The Great Wall was rebuilt to defend against Mongol invasions, and trade flourished, especially along the Silk Road. Hongwu's successors, like his son, Emperor Yongle, pushed the empire even further into its golden age. Yongle, one of the most ambitious rulers of the Ming, wasn't afraid to reach out beyond China's borders. He initiated huge naval expeditions under the famous Admiral Zheng He, sending fleets to Southeast Asia, India, and even Africa. These expeditions weren't just about trade. They were about showing China's might to the world. The Ming also saw a cultural renaissance. The arts, literature, and philosophy flourished during this time. The blue and white porcelain that we associate with Chinese art today was perfected during the Ming period. The Ming also saw advancements in printing, science, and technology that changed Chinese society forever. However, as the dynasty became more powerful, the internal conflicts started to grow. Corruption among officials, weak leadership after the reign of Emperor Yongle, and constant military threats began to take a toll on the once unified empire. By the late 1500s, the Ming Dynasty had reached its peak and started to collapse. In the north, the Manchu tribes, who had long been a threat, began to grow stronger. Their rise would eventually lead to the downfall of the Ming. Meanwhile, internal corruption and famine ravaged the country, weakening the once mighty empire from within. The Ming emperors became less effective. The people grew disillusioned. In 1644, the final straw came when a massive peasant revolt broke out, led by Li Zicheng. The Ming court was unable to put down the rebellion, and in the chaos, the Manchu forces entered Beijing. The last Ming emperor, Emperor Chongzhen, committed suicide, marking the official end of the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty lasted for almost 300 years, and during its rule, China experienced incredible advancements. It was a time of great military power, cultural innovation, and a unique blend of traditions and ambitions. The Ming left a lasting legacy that can still be seen today, especially in China's art, architecture, and governance. But their fall serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of empires. When internal strife, corruption, and external threats collide, even the most powerful dynasties can crumble. If you want to learn more about the rise and fall of ancient empires, don't forget to subscribe and check out our next documentary.